All right, guys, I gotta tell you something that completely changed my body, my energy, and honestly, my life. So, right now, I want you to forget about everything you've been told about dieting because it's all wrong. And I know it's confusing. You hear this diet, this, if it fits your macros, all this shit. You know, eating rice cakes and protein bars all day, thinking shredded equals healthy. Yeah, we're throwing all that out the window today. People talk about, being a vegan. People talk about carnivore, all this bullshit, okay? What I'm about to break down for you is the diet I wish someone had handed me 10 years ago. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's sustainable, okay? It's not just for looks, but for strength, it's for energy, vitality, longevity, and really just having real freedom. Okay, so let's get into it. And before we dive in, though, make sure to subscribe if you're not already. I don't know why not. Dropping the video every single day, and we're building something really special here, gentlemen. So this is just the beginning. I remember back when I was obsessed with getting lean. Now, I was a certified personal trainer for over a decade. I did fitness modeling years ago, and I got crazy shredded. You probably saw the picture of my thumbnail. It was chicken breasts, rice, protein shakes, and I was tracking every damn macro like my life depended on it. And I was also obsessed with my daily steps. I was obsessed with my calorie burn and all this stuff, which is kind of important to an extent, right? Calories in versus calories out. And don't get me wrong, what I was doing, it was very rigid. It was very like autistic level detail and obsession. I definitely looked the part. I mean, it worked for sure. People said I was fit, but on the inside, my digestion was wrecked. My energy was low. I was having to overstimulate myself on a ton of caffeine and stimulants. And, mentally, I felt like a slave to my food. Like I could only eat these things. And then, what happened? I started binging and going crazy. And then it just wasn't a good situation. And so it led me to start questioning everything. I said to myself, is this really what health is supposed to feel like? Because this isn't sustainable. And then I stumbled into the whole world of just whole foods. Gut health, nutrient timing, actual nutrition science. I stopped chasing macros and started fueling my body like it mattered. And bro, everything changed. I'm telling you right now. There's lots of gurus out here, right, that are telling you that their way is the way. And I know it's confusing, right? My physique with this, what I'm going to tell you, it stayed lean, but I felt stronger. I felt sharper. I felt lighter. And that's what we want, right? We want to be functional. We don't want to feel bad, sluggish, brain fog, all this kind of shit. And I had control over my body fat like never before. Not from a standpoint of obsession, but from an understanding. Okay, that shift, that's what this video is about. So let's break it down. The first pillar is you need to support muscle growth. Okay, so in order to build muscle, your body needs raw materials, right? Protein to recover, amino acids, the building blocks, right? That build muscle. Okay, complex carbs is what you need for energy to train hard, and healthy fats is what keeps your hormones balanced. Okay, simple, right? Nothing crazy here. But here's a trick. You don't need exactly 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Instead, I know a lot of you guys are missing the mark completely right now. I just want you to shoot for a consistent range. So somewhere between 120 to 180 grams of protein daily. Now, for you much bigger guys out there, you're going to want to go higher, like 200 grams of protein, okay? For most guys, right? Now, as long as your calories are coming from quality sources, that's what matters the most, okay? And you've got to eat like your body is a temple. Treat it like one, because it is. You only get one house to live in, and that's your body. You don't get to sell. You don't get to foreclose. You can't do a quick sale. Like, this is it, man. This is it. And you're not just eating to build muscle, you're eating to stay sharp. You're eating to stay energized and prime for battle, the battle of life, because that's what this is all about, right? Helping you forge armor for life here at the Ascended Man, right? Pillar 2, minimize fat storage. Now, most people just eat when they're bored. You know, they keep snacks around, they just eat when they're bored, right? Snacking late at night while you were watching TV or something, right? Like overeating clean foods as well. Okay? Now, here's the truth. Your body processes food differently depending on its mentality, right? Now, if you've been overeating for years now, your body is in an abundant state already. You know, lazy, sluggish, nutrient resistant. That's what we're talking about. But if you've leaned down and your body's hungry for fuel, it becomes efficient, right? Like someone who hasn't eaten for days, right? Every nutrient with that person, every nutrient that they put into their body is absorbed. Okay? And every single calorie matters. Right? So let's just say like I get a steak, for example, and I grab a steak and I eat that entire steak, man. I eat the fat, I eat everything because I'm hungry. Like my body is going to utilize every bit of that. And you got to align your eating with your body's biochemistry. That's where the strategic protein timing comes in. So let's say you're doing intermittent fasting, for example, which I do on a regular basis. You can sip on a clean protein, a clean whey, grass-fed whey protein, or there's a company called Redcon One, MRE Light is the protein I like as well. There's a lot of good ones out there. Drop in the comment any questions you have about protein. What's a good protein? I can recommend some. But you can sip on a clean protein shake mid-morning, just 25, 30 grams of protein. It doesn't break your fast in a bad way. Do you understand what I'm saying? It supports protein synthesis while keeping your body in a fat-burning state, all right? This is what we mean by having smart nutrition, right? You're not just following rules. You're adapting. Your body's adapting, right? So pillar 3 is you need to enhance your overall health, right? So health isn't just how lean you look in the mirror. And for years, I would overtrain. I would obsess about the nutrition, and it wasn't necessarily the healthiest way. If you get what I'm saying, right? Because health isn't just how ripped and shredded you are in the mirror, right? It's also your blood work, your levels, your digestion, right? It's your sleep, it's your mood, your gut. That's why sticking to whole unprocessed foods, at least 80% of the time, right, has to be a non-negotiable for you. Now, if you flip the package on something and you're at the grocery store and it's got 27 ingredients in it and, you can't pronounce half of them, put it back. Instead, build your meals with the base ingredients. So wild-caught salmon, sweet potatoes, avocados, berries, fruits and veggies, and quinoa, broccoli, eggs. There's some rice that's good. I'll still eat rice sometimes to an extent. I don't try to eat too much of it because it's not so great for your gut health. But yeah, man, stuff like that. The goal is variety. So even having a steak, having, some ground beef is fine. You want to have a variety. You want to have a diverse gut microbiome, which is going to give you better digestion overall. It's going to have, you're going to have stronger immunity and better body composition, right? Even nuts, almonds, macadamia nuts, things like that. Eat like nature intended, and you'll feel the difference really fast, I can promise you. Bro, even having a little bit of some organic Parmesan cheese, like for a snack, great snack idea. I will do maybe an ounce or so of beef jerky, like a good quality beef jerky, and I'll have like a little cube of organic Parmesan cheese, just a little bit of that. I don't overdo it, but that's fine. If you're gonna have milk, something like an almond milk is probably gonna be your better bet. All right, so that's a big thing with that, and you got to remember that it's not about being perfect. It's about the effort, okay? So I want you to put in, with the gym, with your nutrition, like 80%. I want you to be on point, at least 80%. That's when it's going to get the job done. Anything less than that, it's not going to work. 80% of the results that you get, though, is going to be tied to your nutrition, all right? How you look. It's not just about having discipline in the gym, but also out of the gym as well. And when you bring that effort every single day, that's where the transformation happens. And that's how you build a better you overall, right? Now, the fourth pillar is you have to stick to it long term. So that's what we're talking about: lifestyle habits, a sustainable way of living, right? Forget perfection. Okay, we already talked about that. Forget about tracking every single calorie. What you need is consistency. Start with 2 numbers. Your protein range, like I said, between 130 to 180 grams of protein a day. Your daily calories, hit that consistently with just having clean whole foods, and you'll win. Having a steak, having chicken, having sweet potato, having quinoa, all these kind of things, broccoli and whatnot. The rest is just noise. Get all the snacks and crap out of your pantry. Look, I don't even keep bullshit in my house, because I know if I keep it, then if I got Cheez-Its or fucking Oreos or something, it's gonna get ranter. So don't even keep it in sight, man. Don't even keep it. If you're consistent, you will win over time. That's all there is to it. All right. Now, discipline equals freedom. Understand that. I want you to remember that. The freedom to eat without guilt. The freedom to enjoy your meals. It doesn't have to be boring as shit and taste like crap. It's the freedom to walk into a room with confidence, because you know that you're taking care of yourself, and you're putting in more work than at least 80, 90% of the people that are in a room, and guys that are in society right now. And here's the reality. You can't miss this. There are 2 forms of pain: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. And the difference is, discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons. Choose the right one. But if this is hitting for you right now, drop a comment below. Let me know what your biggest struggle with nutrition is. I want to know. And, I try to read it and respond to every comment. I get to it at one point or another. So imagine this. You wake up a year from now. You feel lighter, you feel stronger, you feel clear, not any foggy headedness. Your skin looks healthier. You're sleeping deeper. You're walking around not just looking good, but feeling unstoppable. That's what we want. You're not a slave to the cravings or cheat meals. And I do want you to have these, cheat meals, but don't look at it like, don't demonize it kind of thing. You're not stuck in this endless start and stop cycle, yo-yoing, all kind of this bullshit. But you've built the system. You've trusted the process. You have the habits. You're disciplined. The mind is the battlefield where the greatest wars are won or lost. And you just won. That's where you're at a year from now. One day at a time. One meal, one day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. If this video hit, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Like the video, comment down below. And if you want one-to-one coaching, I do one-to-one calls. We can set up something, a video call. My email is in the video description and in my bio. I'll catch you guys later.